I'm Samuel Esrifi. I'm the branch organizer for MPP Canada. I'm an expert in agriculture. If, for instance, if you want to go into cocoa farming or want to do something about cocoa, you don't just get up and invest into it. You have to come up with a business plan. You have to develop a comprehensive value chain. Know the various actors within the value chain. You don't necessarily have to be a cocoa farmer before you can enjoy the proceeds from cocoa business. Just get an expert.
Good afternoon, panelists. My name is Abana. So my first question is, you guys highlighted that we have several initiatives for the diaspora. I just wanted you guys to highlight, and if you could detail, if the funding is for all the diaspora association in several countries, is it for one country? Will you get your funding based on your idea proposal, or is it a general grant, like let's just say $500 for each proposal that comes about and is approved?
Okay, so the question is, how does the government support diasporans in their innovative way? It's not only diasporan. When you look at the NEIP program, it's for all young Ghanaians. Anyone who identify yourself as Ghanaian under that age group is, encouraged to take part of it. We have also started just recently the National Service registration for diasporans. So as we are now looking at going to Ghana in the future to work, public services, if you don't have your national service, as some of you might remember, one of our ministers had to go through a whole lot. So if you do not have your national service done, you won't be able to hold certain position in government. And the office with National Service Secretariat, we've been able to sign an MOU where diasporans are encouraged to come home and do national service, which will give you the experience of working in Ghana. And after that, if that's something that you really want to look into it, as I'm talking to, we've had over 100 registration, and the deadline is June. Since April, we started in April, and we've had over 100 registration of diasporans that wants to come to Ghana and do national service. And the deadline is June 20th. So if you want to be part of 2018, 2019 national service in Ghana, the allowance is not that great, but it gives you the experience. And if it's something that you are looking into, you have to start somewhere. So that's part of the things that we've set up for diasporan youth.
So
Explain
to
what
answer
the
that, national service is something, is what you do for a year, like working in the public sector for, or not even public sector, right? It's working for Ghana for a year under the National Service Secretariat. So the National Service Secretariat puts you in a position somewhere in the nation's workforce, and you do that for a year, and you are paid through the National Service Secretariat. So you're not paid that company's rate or whatever, but it gives you great experience. It gives you all the things you need to usher you into the workforce of Ghana. And it's also imperative you do it if you want to probably stand for president or minister or something in the future. So it's after university. So once you finish university, you are eligible.
Anyway, for me, I'm not in government, but I can speak to this simply because the Minister of Business Development was here 2 months ago, Mr. Awa Ibrahim, and he is in charge of the Ghana government business development. And his office has a responsibility to review any business plan, proposal, whether it's diaspora or within the country, and look at the viability of this, idea, and try to collaborate or come out with some funding to support those ideas. So there is an office designated for that.
And the question I want to make is, what are the plans we are putting in place? Seriously, if we want to get serious about business, let's get serious.
Yes.
What are some of the plans we put in place that escalation points? Let's say I reach out to you, this is my idea, and you are not getting back to me within 1 week. Who else should I talk to? Who is your boss? Let's get things done.
What trackable items? There are things we can respond to you. Yeah. And there are people who are here you can speak to. And there are people who you can connect with. So I would like to say, this is a new paradigm shift from what has been happening in the past. Thank you.
This brings me to the question I want to ask the diaspora.
Thank you.
The diasporan people and the business people. How are you marketing Ghana to us?
Thank you very much for your honest, positive message to our second generations and attracting them to want to go back to Ghana. What our office is doing is, in collaboration with Ministry of Tourism, we are seeing how we are able to use what we have in Ghana to be able to make it. When we had a meeting, what I said to her was that when you hear Africa, you say Ghana. That is a message I want us to be, having it out there. We want to see Ghana on CNN. We want to see Ghana on BBC. We need to look at all these positive things that is happening in Ghana, and that should be what we should be promoting.
Technology has really presented us an opportunity to really accelerate our development faster than the United States can.
Yes.
So my, ask of every executive here is begin to think about how you can involve young people in Ghana, in Canada, equip them with digital literacy skills so we can get ahead in whatever initiatives that we have to do. I don't know if there's anything that exists right now, but I hope that that's something that can be considered,
That's a really great contribution, and I think this is something that we can do as diasporans, not even as an office, because then the office can push that for you. But if you have contacts with something like an organization like Girls Who Code and can bring them to Ghana, that's something that you as a diaspora will be contributing to the country. And then you come to office and say, I'm bringing this, I need these resources to implement it on the ground, and we're there.
Quickly, I just wanted to echo that message, about innovation. And I said that earlier on, those of you who were in the room, that the talent pool we have in our community is vast, is immense, and is in technology. We can see that even in this room. I want to embarrass one person. Mr. Akins, your son, he's sitting at the back over there. This young guy, I'm embarrassing him just because he has done AI, artificial intelligence. What does it mean? They are automating everything in the world. Now, when you look at Amazon, what they are doing is that they say humans will be replaced by machines. This young man is in that field. This is a field everybody is clamoring, and he is doing this. So I'm just giving you an example of our community, how far we've come.
Hey everybody, my name is Randall J. I'm an artist and founder of a movement called Rise Edutainment. So I wanted to ask, one of the things was mentioned was right now Africa is at the crux of the century, right? So I think one of the things that's allowing Africa to be there is our fashion. Like, look at everybody. We're all looking real beautiful. You know what I mean? Shining, feeling good. But I think the other element is the arts. It's the music that's really pushing, and people are hearing the music, and they're feeling the music. Like, I want to be a part of that. I want to know what that feels like. So you mentioned that it's about supporting them. And to be honest with you, I'm a systems thinker. I think in systems. So a lot of the answers were kind of dealt with the what, but I'm trying to understand what's the how. Like, how do we support artists in Ghana? The kid who's sitting in Osu and he's like, yo, I got music. I want something to push out to the world. And he's wondering, I'm just wondering, how do you do that? Because I do that here in Toronto. And I've gone to Ghana earlier in this year, and I'm working with young people. But I want some support. So I guess my question is, what does support look like? So a specific question, my friends. What does support look like in terms of supporting artists and musicians coming out of Ghana?
Is there any representation in Canada and in UK or in the States and whatever the case may be? After you leave here, like you said, I'm going to have to contact some people at a number and whatnot. I've contacted Councillor, I've contacted the people in Ottawa, and like he said, they just link you to Accra, and then you're linked and you're waiting for like 5 years to hear back from them. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to be just linked and thrown away. So is there anyone that like could deal with us on the grounds after you leave?
My name is Akos, and my question is in relation to the one district, one factory idea. And I kind of want an update on that. What's happening with that? Because I follow like almost all the politicians on Twitter and all the social media accounts. Haven't really heard much about that. And the reason why I'm asking that question is because it's just in relation to just really what's being done, what is being done to empower youth in Ghana. And
Hello. Hi, good afternoon. My name is Floyd. I'm a rising sophomore at York University. I'll keep it brief. I just wanted to pick on something I saw in the magazine about the GCAO. It says you guys enhance the living standards of Ghanaians here. So I just want to ask, like, in a nutshell, what exactly do you have in place to do that? Because it seemed pretty vague in the beginning. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Aisha. I just have a couple of, actually, I'll make it short. My very first question is, are we trying to make Ghana like North America, or we're trying to utilize the skills, the culture that Ghana in itself has? I'm listening to a lot of things that everyone is saying, and it's like we're just trying to replicate North America or Europe, which should not be the case. So my thing is, the government now is very focused on Ghana Beyond Aid. But then in doing so, they're also giving a lot of contracts to foreigners, which is very disappointing because there's a young man that started the Agbegboshi Waste project. Yes, recently, a white man was just given a contract to do that, which I think is very disappointing, especially around people that are here that have so many ideas, innovations that want to go back home, and even for some people move back home to support the work that the government is trying to do. So my thing is Ghana Beyond Aid, what does that actually look like for individuals, for educators that want to go back? Because I want to move back to Ghana. I lived in Ghana my entire life. But going back and forth to Ghana, sometimes it's just like, I give up. So how are we actually trying to do that?
Yeah.
Hey everybody, my name is Yako. Like I said, my name is Yako. I drove up here from London, Ontario, and for the past 2 years I've been going to Ghana. Last December, January, I went to Ghana. I actually met with Nadia and her wonderful staff at the Flagstaff House. So I just want to quickly share my experience that I had there. It was great going to the office of the president. I went in there. It took me some time to get through all the checkpoints and security and everything, but that's great. It's the office of the president, right? So I met with Nadia and Mr. Abibio, and I told them my plan, which is essentially some farming with mushroom and cassava with some greater goals later. But I wanted to start small. I wanted to start smaller and then grow. So they supported that plan, and I just want to say how excited, I want to speak from the heart and say I'm very excited for their initiative. So you guys should all be very excited and happy, you know?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Derek Bones. I'm a major in economics at York University. My question to the panel was, does the NEIP fund only ideas, like startup ideas, which are really good, or they fund startups which are making an impact, which want to expand? And also, I had a contribution. There was a word about the Ghanaian mentality, and I feel like that's our advantage to working in the Ghanaian society. Because if you keep thinking you have all these ideas and you keep saying, oh, there's a Ghanaian mentality, there's no way you're going to succeed in that field, because no one is going to have a conference like this in Ghana and teach people a Canadian mentality. You have to use that as your tool to work in that. So, thank you.
Okay, yeah. There's the question about artists. I want to tackle that because it's something that he asked very directly. And yeah, good. So about supporting artists, I know, because I work in this space as well as in the creative space. So I know lots of artists, like in music and other kinds of media. I think what it is right now is that it's such a budding industry, and it's budding, but it's also so big that there is a lot that has to be done on a personal level, and so that by the time the government policies and stuff are catching up with it, there'll be a framework in place. So I think it's a great opportunity for artists in Ghana now and artists in the diaspora or of Ghanaian descent or that want to support Ghana to come together and come up with a framework so that something is found when more attention and more resources are ready to be thrown at it. So that's an idea for you.
Whether you're at your workplace, whether at your home, may you be the leader that can initiate change. You know, Mahatma Gandhi, he said that be the leader that you want to see. And we are all leaders.